Hello, you guys, and thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Chante Holliday, and you are joining us for another episode of the Holliday Impact. Joining me today is Devon Cyrille. Thank you so much.
Hey, how's it going?
It's
Thanks
going
for
great.
having me.
I appreciate you being here. So today's topic, you guys, is overcoming your fears and taking advantage of every opportunity. And so I wanted Devon to join us today because he literally made sure to take advantage of every opportunity to increase his business credit and start flipping houses, while also living the life of a realtor with his family. So if you could please just kind of introduce yourself and a little bit about your background for those who already don't know you.
Hey, everybody. My name is Devon Cyrille. I'm a realtor. I'm a little bit of everything, if I'm just being honest. I'm a little bit of everything. So I'm a realtor. I'm licensed in the state of Virginia. I'm a realtor with Fathom Realty. Um, I made that switch to Fathom. It's probably been going on 3 years now. So if you ever see me marketing myself, it's under Cyrille Estates, which is brokered by Fathom. This is really like the vision God gave me like a while back. And it's like, if you, I know my name can kind of look a little weird, but it's pronounced Cyrille. So it was just a play off of my name that God kind of gave me to build around. So Cyrille Estates has led to, um, just diving into real estate. I first got my license back in 2016. Um, just a little bit of background about me. Um, I graduated from ODU. I have a bachelor's in psychology. I have a associate's in general studies with John Tyler. I have a master's in divinity with Regent. So if you ever see the faith component come out of me, that's because I really believe that. I really walk that. And above all, I just try to be, not just a husband, not just a father, but also just try to be, somebody of faith and take that serious. Um, I think real estate is interesting because I got into it because me and my wife, I'm 33 now. We first bought our first home when I was about 24. Um, in that process, and that was back in like 2014. So in that process, we went to go see like 30 homes. Like, I mean, we was missing out left and right. So even back then, like I know people like, oh, the market's crazy. The market has always been crazy. So I remember going to see like 30 homes and just
At
missing
least
out.
be honest.
Yeah. And during that process, I realized, man, I kind of really like this, like going to see the home, trying to find the best deal, negotiating the best price. So it really led to like after I closed on that house in 2014, by 2016, I went to a school called Mosley Flint out here in Richmond.
Mhm.
And I took a 1 week course. And then the next week I went and took my real estate license for the state of Virginia, passed, started with Keller Williams, and it's been history ever since. So that was
Wait a
my
minute. Your real estate class was 1 week.
1 week, Monday through Friday, like 8 to 5, and that was it. They only taught us what was going to be on the test. And I tell people that's crucial because real estate is so broad. Like literally, like if you try to study real estate online, you might be studying some stuff that won't never be on that test because real estate is just that broad. So it's like you need somebody to come along and be like, I don't study that, but study this because this is definitely they definitely gonna test you on this.
Right.
So
Like how many acres and all these things. And I was
yeah,
when is someone gonna ask me this, bro? Like when?
yeah,
Like
like there's some math that's never gonna be on the test, and then there's a little bit of math that's definitely gonna be on the test. So you need to know the difference.
that
Like
math brought me to tears.
so.
I remember because at 19 and stuff there, I went to real estate school along in Foster in Maryland.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, but I wasn't about to take over the game. I had no money and no car.
Man, I know the struggles like real estate. So I'm giving y'all my real estate journey. So in 2016, I get my license. Um, and I'm always working, I'm always hustling in the midst of that. So like I remember at one point I was like driving vans for my mother-in-law for her like group home business. Um, I was also doing, I had my bachelor's in psychology, so I was doing mental health work. So I would counsel some kids. Then eventually I started teaching in Richmond public schools to and special education. So I did that for about 3 years. I did that all because real estate has so many highs and so many lows. It's like 1 minute one month you could be making 20, 30, 40,000. Then you can go 3, 4 months without nothing, without zero money coming in. So it's like it is a discipline where it will teach you how to manage your money, because when it's highs, and when it's lows, and you got to be able to balance it all out and be like, yeah, I might have $40,000 now, but let me map my budget out so that I'm still not wilding, because I might not have another $40,000 next month.
He's
So it's like,
speaking nothing but the truth, y'all. You learn to
yeah,
budget your money. Because you might not like you don't want to go and buy what is it there? Anything and stuff like that. Like, your luxury car, your dream car, and a fur coat and a new house all in the same month. And then you might be dry a couple months. And I'm not saying move in fear, right? I'm not saying like let fear overcome you. I'm just saying be smart about your money.
exactly.
Because you don't want to be in the position where you have to beg other people for help because you mismanaged your funds.
And the cavalry ain't coming. Like, that's one thing we got to learn. Like, especially as entrepreneurs, we get so salty sometimes when, our friends, our family members might not use our business services. But the reality is, like, don't nobody owe you nothing. You got to keep grinding like nobody owes you nothing. Like, the only person that got you is God, because it's like, if you don't believe in your stuff, how are they gonna believe in it for you? And you gotta believe in it so hard and so, so determined about it that, you look up and you are the go-to person for, what you're doing. And then it's like that respect level. Like, a lot of people will look at your business that's not even a multi-level marketing almost like it is multi-level marketing. I'm not
Right.
rocking it. I'm not touching it until you show me proof of concept that you've been doing this thing and you rock solid for 3 to 5+ years and you believe this thing full heartedly. Other than that, I'm not believing it till you show me that you believe it. So,
Right.
yeah.
Right. And it's true though. And then usually how it works is that a stranger with the same business doesn't have to have the same qualifications that you do.
No, no.
Right.
But
And that's just the way of the world. So I mean, like, as long as we're aware of it, you just gotta
yeah,
move that way.
it's so crazy, because then you end up getting strangers supporting you and cheering you on. You be like, man, are we family? Because, like, the way you supported my business and kind of like always promoted me, is like, I really appreciate you, because strangers sometimes can see what the closest people to you can't.
Literally, I'm trying to look. If it wasn't for strangers supporting me and stuff there, I don't know where my family would be. Because I mean, a lot of times strangers can become more blood than your own blood is. So there's
You
that.
don't-
I've literally had clients and stuff there from Maryland send my child baby clothes just because they thought about them.
yeah.
And just because I spent like an extra hour or two teaching them about their credit and things like that. And when I tell you it was bringing me to tears, or like he'll be like, oh man, like you didn't have to break it down like you did during the consultation. Let me get you some edible arrangements. And that's my love language, y'all. I am cool with receiving gifts. I was like, absolutely. Let me give you the address to send it to. Just,
I know that's right.
yeah. I was like, goodness gracious. Yeah, no, I'm definitely not the person anymore. Like, what? No, no, no. I'm like, okay. So,
But the
I
thing
will
about
take the
it,
blessing.
what's crazy about it is, like, sometimes people can see it. It's like, and this life is about, really a lot of it has to do with reaping and sowing. So it's like people can see good ground, like, oh, I'm gonna plant some seeds there. Like, I'm gonna do something for this person because I know there's something that's gonna return. Like, people see when you really pushing, you pressing, and you persevering. Like, people want to, well, at least some strangers sometimes want to sow into that.
The
And
right people want to see you win. I feel you.
the right people want to see you win. That's real.
Absolutely. And that's a blessing, right? And stuff there.
Yep.
So I want to know what was the moment you decided to go from realtor showing houses to actually investing in homes and stuff there? Because you're currently doing 3 homes right now, right? To flip.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so things really, to be honest with you, things began to click for me this year, but the preparation was probably at least 3, if not more. It might have been because, to be honest with you, I've always been around investors when I've been in real estate. And it's a different mindset. I tell people all the time, like being a realtor and being an investor is like being in NASCAR and being in Formula 51. Like, yeah, we're driving cars, but like the way this person drives and the risk and the speed of this person is different. So it's like being around investors, I had always been trying to change my mindset when it came to investing, when it came to wholesaling, which is the process of, finding sellers, motivated sellers, and getting those properties under contract at the lowest price and flipping it to that contract to another investor who actually plans on moving the hammers, doing the nails, doing all the work to actually get a return on their money that way. So in the last 3 years, probably since 2020, I had been working on my business structure, business credit, getting having your EIN in place, beginning build certain trade lines. I went through the process of Cryille.com,
Right.
Granger.com. I did all the small stuff, especially while I was, uh, my first taste is I was running an Airbnb. So like, I was like, okay, you know what? I could use Cryille.com, order a few stuff here in bulk, get paper in bulk, get toilet paper in bulk, get
Right.
soaps in bulk, different stuff. So it came in handy. So I was building my business credit that way.
Okay.
And then I just began to take it to the next level to look at programs that were going to take me from maybe just the 10 grand I was at to 100 plus. So in that process of trying to build business credit, I literally seen my business credit go from maybe a $10,000 limit to well over about 150. So once I got to that point, like recently, I'm also in the military because I'm a chaplain candidate, right? So I'm away in February this year, just working with the military, trying to, learn my job as a future chaplain. So like I said, I take this faith stuff seriously, but in the night, like I'm away from my family, so I'm up late at night, I'm searching deals, and I became, I know numbers because being a real estate agent,
You
we
have
need,
to.
yeah, we're not appraisers, but we need to be able to think like appraiser. Like, okay, based on the
Right.
comp, based on, where this home is and what has been selling within not just a mile radius, but what's selling within a half a mile radius of this home in the last 6 months. So we analyze stuff and we begin to learn all the comps down to the T. So it's like I began to be pretty decent at back end numbers. And then I also added in just trying to estimate, what the rehab cost would be on this particular property. Over the
Right.
years, I've met so many contractors, so many different teams of contractors. It's like, you know what? I know more than enough people that can get this house renovated.
Right. Right. And like, did you have to make a spreadsheet of like the average cost of prices for each contractor and things like that? Or is it just a matter of you just kind of remember who you work with and you go off like a vibe kind of thing?
No, yeah, remembering who I worked with before, who's done work for me, who work I've seen, stuff like that. If you've been a realtor long enough and you've always had probably a seller that needed something fixed or something even renovated before the market or after going under contract, before you know it, you realize you got more than enough contractor contacts. And if you don't, join Facebook groups.
Right.
There's plenty of contractor groups with different people showing off their work, showing off their different workmanship. As a realtor, if you don't know enough contractors, go on the MLS, look at what's been recently flipped, you
Right.
know, reach out to that realtor that sold that flip and ask them who did the work on this property. And that's a way to pick up contractors as well.
I wouldn't have thought of that. That's actually a pretty good idea. Like,
Yeah.
it's really
I mean,
smart.
if you need to find somebody, you can find somebody.
Right.
Um,
Like kind of like reverse engineering in the system kind of thing. So I like that.
look at even down to the type of home, like find somebody that renovated a similar home that you're looking at. Like if it's a Cape style home, find another Cape style home that was done well. A ranch,
Right.
find another ranch that was done well. 2-story, 3-story, find somebody else who, renovated something similar and did it in the manner that you would like yours done. And
Right. Instead of just
try
kind
to,
of going off of only hope,
yeah. But one thing
because
you
that's
do
extra
learn,
risky.
the more properties you walk, you begin to learn you begin to have an idea for numbers. So
Mm,
like you don't need to be perfect with your numbers. I mean, you do need to be perfect with the ARV. You do need to know that and be able to be like on point with that and pretty well on point with that. But as far as contractor numbers, just give yourself your budget, what you think it should be, and then just give some contingencies, some cushion of what it could be if something miscellaneous pops up. And then on the
gotcha.
number side, the after repair value side, give yourself some room just in case the market shifts in a direction you don't think it's going to go in. So if you
Gotcha.
do those two things well and conservatively, you should be able to pick a property where the numbers make sense. But the
Okay.
thing
I
about
like how there's actionable steps in there too.
yeah, a lot of times you got to know when the numbers don't make sense. So it's like I would see tons of deals. I like, oh, these numbers don't make sense. I mean, it might
Mhm.
sound good to somebody else, but the only way these numbers work is if you are funding it completely cash yourself. So, my process has been I've been using business credit as well as hard money to
Okay.
get into deals. So even I put some of my own money into some of the deals, but I haven't put a ton. So
Okay.
right now we're in a process of renovating 3 houses to flip. One of them is already on the market, and
Mhm.
the other two should be coming in the next 1 to 2 weeks. And this week we should be closing on another 1 or 2 properties.
Are you serious? That
Yeah,
fast?
yeah. So
That's
when I say
insane.
I have a closing
Congratulations.
coming today, that's the closing for myself. Now my realtor business has me scratching my head. I done had so many deals fall apart in the last 2 months. It's like that's the thing about trying to do so many things. It's like, man, you take your eye off one thing and like something else can begin to like go a little haywire. So I'm trying to find balance in my life. But right now I'm full 10 toes into investing.
Right. And it sounds like investing is paying off though for you.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to reap what I sowed.
I would go where the money is.
Yeah,
So, I mean, because you got a family to feed
that's the truth. That's the
and
truth.
stuff there. We all do. So I would definitely go to like exactly like, what's paying you out the most and stuff, right? So what I want to know are what are some key strategies or approaches you use when identifying a potential investment property?
So um it all starts really with location. So
Really?
you
Okay.
got to know what area you want to do a flip in. And like as you're seeing, so some of these deals that I recently found, even though I, I'm personally also in the process of doing wholesaling. I have two virtual assistants. They do calls for us Monday through Friday. Two of them they split up a shift from 10 to 3, and the other one goes 3 to 8. Calling
Mhm.
mo- calling motivated seller lists and trying to find somebody that's motivated to sell their property. We're
Right.
not looking for properties that are already fixed up because if they're already fixed up, then I'm just going to offer them to list their property if they want to sell. But if
Okay.
their property needs work, then it makes sense. When
Mhm.
properties, need, 10, well, 20, 30, 40, 50, $60,000 in repairs and renovations, then it makes sense for a seller to sell their house 30 cents on the 70 cents on the dollar because it's like you're going to spend so much trying to renovate it. It's you don't even really know if you'll make a return if you do those renovations versus if I just sell it as is. So those are the opportunities where investors come in. It's like we'll work this deal out. This deal will be so smooth for you, you won't have to worry about it. I'll take on all this risk in managing these contractors and getting this house renovated because there's the opportunity for me to make the profit from the renovations to the after repair value.
Got you. And how do you like mitigate risk in real estate investing? And what advice do you have for new investors in managing risk effectively? Because it seems like you have a really good strategy.
Well, the first thing I kind of learned, I and I see why some of my mentors have now been preaching like wholesaling over flipping. Flipping can be great. Flipping can make you large chunks of change.
Mhm.
But the reality is it's very cash intensive.
Right.
So like, even in the process of me waiting on draws,
Mhm.
a lot of times my lender is giving me $10,000 a pop when it's a draw. And that draw is going to my contractor for them to do the work and keep the project moving. So like if I have a 40,000 budget, then I'm gonna get 4 draws of 10,000. But each time we need to be hitting a 25% mark of completion. So it's like,
Right.
okay, here's the pictures, here's the process of what's going on, and here's where we're at. We're ready for our next draw. But the cash intensive part is sometimes the lender may be a little bit slow and you don't want your project to even stop for a day or two. So sometimes you're bridging that $10,000 gap with your own money because I don't even want my project to slow down over the weekend. So it's like it becomes cash intensive like that, where either you have the cash reserves or you have the credit reserves to constantly keep this project on schedule.
Mhm. Got
And
you.
that's what
Okay,
I've been
cool.
learning.
Sheesh, no, I would definitely be looking at my accounts like, should I use business credit for this moment or should I be using my actual cash for this moment?
So I'm learning and I'm learning fast and I'm learning certain cards are better for certain things. Like
Right,
if this card is, I have a capital on tap card. I also have a fund box card.
right.
Um, and those type of things might be better for bridging, but not better for like using towards my down payment because the
Mm.
interest rate might be so high that and the monthly payment on that might be more than me using my Wells Fargo business platinum card or something like that.
Yeah, so it takes a whole system just knowing exactly which credit
Yeah.
cards to use and things like
And
that. And so those are the things though that I feel like it's best to have someone that's already been there kind of thing where you can actually refer to someone, right? And you can ask those questions. You don't have to learn the hard way. Because if you use the wrong card, you are literally paying for that mistake
yeah,
that could
and
have been
that's one of
avoided.
the things, and that's one of the things that I'm looking at my situation now, and I'm like, I'm glad I actually have a partner. So my partner is my brother, my
Right.
blood brother, from literally from the day I opened my eyes, it's been my brother all my life, and we're similar and we have a like mindsets. It really ain't no big egos, no big eyes, no little U's and stuff like that. So it's like we go over game plan, we go over strategy, we go over this, that, and the third.
I
And
love that.
while I might know a little more when it comes to real estate, we both have sales backgrounds and we're able to see and make different adjustments. But one thing I can say is like in the process of trying to grow and scale kind of fast, I'm happy to have a partner because some of these minimum payments and all this stuff, like I said, if you don't get that science down to just right, it will eat you alive cash flow wise. So
In
it's
real
like,
time. In real
you
time.
know,
And your brother, is he the co-host of your podcast?
no, no, no. That's my brother. That's my brother in Christ. That's
Okay.
my brother in Christ. But my actual brother is my business partner.
Got you. Okay. I was like, he's got so many. I was trying to keep up. I was like,
I know,
I don't know which brother
I
you're
know,
talking about. I was like, I've seen him on
you
Facebook.
know, how we use that term so loosely, but a lot of times I do consider the friends that I really do have to be brothers. But this one of them, I
Understandable. I completely get it. Completely get it. It's up there. So I want to know, how do you approach financing for real estate investments? Are there specific loans and programs or strategies that you recommend?
all right. So there's a couple ways to go about it. Um, Let me start off with the simplest way, and I've been telling, and if you really know me right now, like we've been talking because I'm gonna eventually build an education platform to help other people grow with investing knowledge, real estate knowledge, and even some other things.
Right.
But right
Because it's
now, I'm
needed.
giving the game away. for free to anybody who hits my line, how I'm doing it. I've been an open book, so much to the point where I'll be like, hey man, don't even take notes. Just hit the record button. I'm gonna talk for about 30 minutes. You go back and listen to it. Let me know if you got some questions. And I've even taken people, to some of my flips and some of the stuff that we got going on. Like, hey, this is what we doing. I'm not the smartest, but this is my trial and my error. This is what I've learned so far.
Right.
Here's all the things you can handle. As much as you need or want, I got you.
Right.
Here it is. One of the things I can say is, like, in that process of just trying to learn this stuff, it can become overwhelming. But one of the things I can say, the first step that I recommended to a lot of folks was like, just start with FHA. Let's say you have a significant other.
Yeah.
You and your significant other go out and purchase a multifamily property.
Mm-hmm.
That's the quickest way to get into long-term investing. Go out and get a multifamily unit on property. If you can find a 4-unit property, buy it. Those properties are easier to qualify for than a traditional owner-occupied home anyway, because the rent from the other 1, 2, or 3 units gets applied to what you make, and it's easier for you to qualify for a 4-unit property than it is for you to qualify for a single family $500,000 home. A $500,000 4-unit property is probably a lot easier for you to qualify for, because the banks are able to use the anticipated income.
Really?
So those are a lot easier. You can live there for a year, move out, then buy your owner-occupied home, and now you got 4 units to yourself as an investment property, and you were still able to use those 4 units income towards your new single-family home after you lived in that place for a year. So that's
insane.
Simplest way to get into real estate investing. If somebody wants to get into real estate investing, and you're just an average Joe, you're just working a 9 to 5, that's the quickest and simplest way to do it. And then if you also have a significant other, duplicate that before y'all get married and do that, so that when y'all come together now, when y'all moving out of those properties after a year, now y'all got 8 units in the single family home of your dream.
That part. Listen to this, the steps in the order he just gave it, though.
That's the simplest way to get into it. But let's say that's not the route you're trying to go. For me, I got into it by building up my business credit. Once I got it to a certain level, I was able to leverage my business credit cards. I also have good personal credit, because in the process of me fixing my personal credit, usually whatever you can get on the personal side, you can get up to probably 3 times the amount on the business side. So having good personal credit, caring about your personal credit, is a start. Once you go from there, you're able to leverage into getting business credit. And once I got up to 6 figures plus in business credit, you're able to extract money from those cards and able to use them towards down payments, able to use them for construction draws. And if you team up with a good private money lender, a good hard money lender, you bring to them your contracting team, which I plan to do with the renovation budget.
Right.
For example, one of the first properties we got into was $140,000. We had a renovation budget of $40,000, and we put down $25,000 that we pulled from a business credit card onto that property. Now the interest, there is interest you're paying over a 6-month term using private money or hard money lending. So that'll probably work out to be anywhere, depending on the time frame that you do that flip in, anywhere from, let's say, 12, maybe 12,000 on the low end to as high as maybe 20,000. So now you have 140, and then you also have closing costs. So sometimes even if your purchase price is something, it spills over and could be anywhere from $2 to $4 grand higher. So we were in at 144, had a renovation budget of 40, and the if we took the full 6-month term, the lender will probably make 18. So those are all your all-in costs. Throughout the process, things come up. Now my renovation budget went from 40 to 55. Certain stuff we needed to do, we just went ahead and did it because we have either the cash reserves or the business credit to just go ahead and make it happen. This is what we need to do to make this property beautified.
I'm
So
just
you do
happy
those
that you were
things.
able to stretch your money that much too.
Yeah. It's a process. It's like at times it felt scary, but at the times it's like, like I'm beginning to be more just cool, calm, and collective about it. It's like this is what I'm trying to do. We're gonna execute it, just believing it and having faith. You're putting in good work. It's not like you're doing just any old janky workmanship. So you're doing whatever needs to be done to get this property to sell for, the top dollar.
Right.
And those where those realtor relationships come in, because, as a realtor and having realtor friends, they give you recommendations like, hey, you should do it, this like this. Like before you list it, you should get this property staged home, sell more. You should paint it this color, or, just those little tips like that. Those tidbits help you.
Staging home used to be my favorite part.
Yeah. Professional photography. Make sure you get a video done. Make sure you have a little video tour. All those little stuff like that, can help a home sell.
I love that. So how do you stay up to date with market trends and changes in real estate agency? Are the real estate industry, I'm sorry, are there specific resources or tools that you find like particularly valuable?
See, this is the part where I was like, man, I was so knee deep in investing, like real estate stuff started going haywire. So it's like you got to just keep your ear to the streets. Like I'm hearing rates are rising, so you got to be cognizant of that. Like, you have to get a home at a deep enough discount where like you have room for, not only your profit margin, but at worst case scenario, like if this market goes to hell, literally, you should be able to at least break even. You don't want to put yourself, nobody wants to put themselves in a situation where they're losing money, but, if everything just goes haywire, at least you break even. Because it's at the end of the day, it's still a learning experience. So, but I give my contractors, I make sure they're well experienced, and I kind of give them some form of free reign as far as like, hey, keep it simple. Let's do cool grays on the wall. Let's do LVP flooring throughout. Let's just make it clean and nice.
Right.
Nothing off the wall as far as the razzle dazzle. Everything is just, kind of clean and just, just nice. Nice, almost like new construction, even though this is, definitely not new construction.
Exactly. No, so like, what are your thoughts on investing in real estate through crowdfunding platforms or like real estate investment trusts, like REITs? Do you see them as valuable options for passive investors?
Yeah, I do. I feel like that's a good way to get into real estate, investing in REITs.
Okay.
Also, just doing your homework and studying. Nowadays, you can invest in some of these platforms that specifically do short-term rentals. Like you might not want to do a short-term rental yourself, but you may want to invest in a company that does that, like an Evolve or ReAlpha, or you pick up a real estate and trust and you put money in there, or you see the builders you like. Maybe you have a favorite builder and their company is public and they're on the New York Stock Exchange, and you go and put buy fractional shares or buy whole shares of that company, and that's a way to build a real estate portfolio as well. And you never lift a hammer, you never do anything, but if you can see where they have growth potential, if you can see where they're trending, where they're going to be trending upwards, then you can invest in a company like that.
I've seen that. Like I saw a few options, especially the last couple of years, on like, basically like buying a share and stuff there of like someone's like real estate portfolio and stuff there to help, like, just kind of get your feet wet
Yeah.
kind of thing. I just didn't know if it was safe to do it.
I get you, because it's like nowadays so much stuff is coming out, and it's like, oh, this person's platform, you shouldn't have invested here because I don't know, they got a shady background
Yeah,
and
like fraud.
um,
Like, who wants to
yeah,
be involved in that, or get got at that point?
it's so much popping up, especially in the real estate world. That F word is becoming famous right now, fraud. So it's like you need to do your own research on these people before you buy anybody's mentorship, before you do, XYZ. Make sure they're on the up and up.
Absolutely.
Always try to get in touch with somebody who's flesh and blood that you can literally shake their hands with, that you can sit down and, have coffee with. Those are the people I kind of recommend that you start with first. Like, go to the real
Literally.
estate investment meetups, go to the local RIAs where they're having, detailed conversation with people that are actively doing deals in your home market. Those are where I would recommend you
Right.
start before just jumping into something online. Now, granted, if
100%.
you're, I would say when it comes to stuff online, if
Mhm.
you haven't done the local stuff first, it's okay to maybe spend anywhere from $100 to $500 just getting informed on the process. Like
Right.
buying a nice course to learn about XYZ. It's not
Right.
going to be the hands-on experience, but it'll begin to give you some knowledge and some understanding. But
Right.
before you
And it'll
go
start
out
changing
and
your
spend
mindset.
$10,000, make sure you before you spend that $10,000, go meet somebody in your local market and ask them, would you spend this $10,000? And they'll let you know, like, I can give you $100,000 worth of game for that $10,000 that you're probably going to spend with such and such online who might not even care about your success.
At all. At
Yeah,
all and stuff there. And that's one thing and stuff. I never want to feel like I am signing up for somebody's mentorship just to be another number. Does that make
exactly.
sense? And that's one of the reasons why I enjoy your platform so much, because you're always giving and you're always getting, like, you don't mind doing the dirty work in the job to get it done. And you're so good at also like just sharing your journey as you're going through it. And I'm just so proud of you and your wife and you guys' family component and stuff. I see your TikToks doing your morning prayers, super
Yeah.
encouraging and
Yeah.
stuff there. I have on my to-do list to do that in the mornings. Does it always happen? I ain't finna lie
I,
to you. No.
I completely understand. Like, so this year when I've taken more action and becoming more active and being an investor, one of the things that I kind of go back is just putting God first and acknowledging Him like for everything, and everything else will work out.
Right.
So it's been my business to put out, just simple prayer videos. Honestly, we really should be, and things are gonna pick up. I could put out preaching content. I could put out marriage tips. Keep doing the prayer videos, taking those baby steps until like it all begins to streamline and we all begin to get the content out there.
Right.
But you know, how do you expect your stuff to prosper if you won't even, do the little things that God is asking you to do? So I'm just trying to get
That's
around to
right.
the little things that God, a simple minute out of my day may take a little bit more because I may have to splice it, edit it a little bit, but those are the simple things I can do. And I don't do it every day. I do it maybe at least twice a week. And
Right.
you begin to look up and people expect them, and because it's potentially helping their day, helping their weekend. It's like, okay, let me
Right.
keep running with this. Let me keep doing this. I chop it up for YouTube. I deliver to Facebook. I send it to IG. I send it to YouTube Shorts. And you never know whose day that kind of affects. And those are the little
Absolutely.
things you do for God that, He'll take care of. All the bills and all the worries you have, those things will get taken care of because you're doing, taking care of the God's business first.
Right. Right. And you're just like, you're really consistent with it. Even on the days where you don't feel like you are, you are. And so when I do see that you and your wife and stuff there have put out that motivational content, I make sure to share it in one of my groups and stuff there for sure, because I know that they would appreciate it. Even
Yeah.
sometimes if they don't comment, you can still see how many people have viewed it. And so I was
Yeah.
like, okay, if it just touched this one person and stuff there who needed
Yeah.
it, then it's worth it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and stuff there, you know. So I mean, I really appreciate your energy on just on your platform, right? And I wanted to make sure to share that on my platform for anyone that does not already know you. That way, like you said, right now and stuff there, you're willing to give away a lot of the game and stuff there
Yeah.
to people who just want to
Y'all
know and
better get
ask.
it now while I was free.
Yo, that
It's
part.
like
So
getting
that's what I was about to
getting
say. There are ways though that people can give thanks and stuff there and sow a seed without paying you first, right? So like right now, if he's offering the game for free, you guys and stuff,
Yeah.
you can pay him by leaving a review and tagging his name. You can repay him by joining his group and stuff there and being engaged and stuff there. Cause I know you're gonna be starting a group soon to go along with your school and things of that nature for the community. You can pay him and stuff there by following his platforms and just being that additional person that not only listens to his motivational videos but responds to it in the comments so that he knows you're there. Those little things to us influencers, us entrepreneurs and business owners, go a long way. Okay,
Yeah.
because sometimes we're taking time out to make videos and content and do all these things. Like I
Yeah.
remember last year especially, like I did over 100 workshops.
Mhm.
I had no voice by the end of the year, but I tried. I did a lot of content, and some of those days it would take me 2 hours to make a 6-minute video. To get 3 likes sometimes, it's all right. I'm not entitled to likes or comments, but a lot of people don't know how much energy it takes just to stop and take that one moment to pour.
Yeah.
So yeah, they can always pay you back additionally, right now with fellowship and stuff, but there will be a price tag. He has a lot of game to give. I'm
So,
gonna be that sister on the other side of the screen that
but
makes sure people know.
no, it's all, to be honest with you, it's all about what God tells you and puts on your heart to do. Because I
Right.
honestly right now I have it on my mind to begin to need to get some workshops going in the church because the church needs to be giving out financial education as well.
Do it.
And that'll be free game. And I want to get into in front of these kids, these juveniles, like we were talking about earlier today, the shootings. I taught in Richmond Public Schools. I know what it's like when you can see the hopelessness in these kids' eyes. They need to know that life is bigger than just spending these blocks.
And
Like
that people
you,
care.
yeah, people care. You can become you can become the change you want to see.
Right.
Um,
Because right
it
now
really,
it's senseless violence and it's really, really sad.
yeah, yep, totally. But you gotta be willing to be that light on the hill, that candle. You gotta be willing to be like, all right, this is what I'm gonna stand for.
Right.
I don't care if such and such over here might think I'm corny. This person might not like me. Like I'm comfortable in who I am. I'm not, I don't care what you think. I'm gonna keep doing
Right.
what you're telling me to do.
I'm gonna get that on a shirt. I don't care if you think I'm corny.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, believe in yourself because it takes a lot in a world where everybody's promoting the wrong thing to stand up and be like, I'm gonna make doing the right thing cool. It takes
Right.
a lot to do that.
Right. I think it's really amazing and stuff there for it. It just kind of hit me that what is it? I think I'm on episode 9 or so of the podcast this year. It's been such a blessing. But
Yeah.
unintentionally,
I've
every
listened to a lot of them, and I was like, that this a lot of episodes have been awesome, like just awesome. Um, yeah.
it's
I
been a
followed
lot.
some of the people. I was like, these people got good stories, good backgrounds, and it's like, it goes a long way. It's like, and it's that ability to give out information and make it readily available for people that people appreciate.
Thank you. I appreciate it. No, I was just thinking and stuff there how wild it is that unintentionally almost every episode so far and stuff there uh every single person that has like literally been on my line and stuff like that has come back and like literally thank God and brought God into their story somehow, some way. And I didn't see it coming, right? Nothing is rehearsed or anything like that.
Yeah.
And so I was just floored. I was like, all right. I was like, let's do it. So I hope my listeners and stuff there, I hope that you guys are what people that are watching really enjoy and value the content, because this is why I'm doing it and stuff there. I'm doing it so that it can reach the right person and kind of just be that light, because that hopelessness in a person's eyes that you were just talking about, right? And stuff,
Yeah.
it's not just in the school system and stuff there. I've seen it on a business owner's face. And I feel like that's why a lot of people kind of turn to doing the wrong thing or
Yeah.
turn to desperation. And you don't have to do that. There are more ways than one for you to provide, feed your family, and turn things around in your business. And there are so many people out there that are dedicated to help you get over the hill, to be that light for you. So yeah, I want to make sure that you guys actually find the right people. And I've been watching your platform for years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really appreciate you. And
Yeah.
seeing your evolve, like you and your family evolve and grow, and you guys are taking trips, you're taking pictures with monkeys. It's great.
Yeah. Family is big for me. It just is. Like, I know some people like put on in front on like a facade. I'm not Derrick Jackson. Like, this is really my family. Like, I really love my wife. I really love God. I really love people. If you really know some of my homeboys that I grew up with, I'm always the person that's been there for them. Like, I'm always the person that has something to give and some, trying to give back. I was
Right.
really somebody who didn't have the cleanest background story. Like, I literally sold drugs. I literally, was in the streets. I literally know what it is when these kids would be like, yeah, we're gonna get in the mix. So I've been there, done that, and be like, nah, this side of life is way better. It's way
I
better
didn't
to
know that. I didn't know
well,
any of that. I told you
yeah,
guys this is
I
rehearsed.
mean, because sometimes people will sugarcoat their stories and their
Right.
background. Like, I'm able to relate because I've been in so many scenarios and situations. It's like I can relate to whatever room you put me in. I can relate. Like, I'm
Right.
literally ranked in the military. Like, I can relate to your military folks. I can relate to your teaching folks. I can relate to your kids, that in the hood, your EBT folks. I can relate to all these different rooms. And, you know, I kind of appreciate God for bringing my life in that way, because I understand where like Paul was talking like just becoming all things to all men that you may win some. You never know who's watching, who's looking, who you're encouraging, who you're inspiring, and that
Mhm.
it may change the course of their life.
What was that
Um,
change for you in the
it
very
was
beginning, though? Because that
in
was
the
a
very
really like
beginning.
that doesn't sound like the person I know now. Like,
All right, so me and my wife, we met in high school, right? So we've been together for a hot minute. We celebrated 10 years of marriage last year. So
okay.
we're coming up next month will be a year 11. But before then, like, I wasn't always saved. I didn't even, get into church until late, probably early 20s. That's
Stop
when I really
playing.
yeah, because I didn't really go. I mean, my grandparents and my mom might have took me, but I literally had a mindset that church was like kind of for old people. Like, I'll get it together. Like, when I've lived my life and I had my fun. Like, that was my mindset literally. And I remember like working at. I've had tons of jobs. That's another thing to remember about me. I've worked for UPS, worked for USPS, um, any job you can think of, I probably had it. Like, I've literally had my fill of different jobs. But I remember being a package delivery person and like working with UPS, and somebody invited me to a ministry. And that was my change. My wife got it together first, and all of a sudden I'm like, she's changing. Um, and you begin to realize y'all becoming incompatible. So like, all right, let me see if I can mature and I can grow up. And I really got this thing deep down on the inside, like, and it began to change. And I was like, I went from clubbing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and sometimes Sunday night to be like, you know what? Let me just pump my brakes on this. Let me stop. Like, like, and it was crazy because my
At
friends
least
would
you're
be like,
honest.
man, hey, we going to such and such club tonight. You're not stepping out? Like, no, I'm like, I'm not. I'm gonna read the Bible. And like,
Oh my
oh, nigga, you
God.
corny. You corny.
Oh my gosh.
That's how it would be. But like, those are the times that um those are the times and those are the seasons where God literally put in different substances in my life that like beginning to pop now. Like, there was times where like, I might have had a season where I was working at the post office delivering mail, and like God was putting it on my heart to pray over people's bills, to pray for different people on the street when you would see them. And it was like, dang, it's like you beginning to see what God was working on with you. Like, I'll be in the mail truck. Like, some days I'll be just listening to whatever, but some days I'll be riding around listening to the James Earl Jones version of the Bible in my ear. And those are sometimes the
Mm.
scriptures and the reason why I'm able to, pretty much teach and preach now is because the sacrifices you made back then.
Goodness. I had no idea that was your background.
Yeah, that was my
Like, no
background.
clue. Because you would
Yeah,
never know. It sounds like a completely different person.
it probably is a completely different person, but it's weird though, because it's like even though you people may review that as you being far off from that person.
Mhm.
The the reality is that without God, you are that exact same person.
Right.
So it's like a chip on your shoulder and a humbleness about you that, like, if I don't pray, if I don't get my mindset together, then I'm gonna be back to that same person because,
Right.
like,
Ain't no joke
I,
about that.
I'm not the best of the best. I can easily be the worst of the worst.
Right, right. But at least you're honest about it because like you said just now, I feel like that deserves to be repeated. Without like God in your mindset and stuff there, it's really easy to revert back to
Yeah,
the person that you changed from, right?
yeah,
And like I was saying earlier and stuff like that though, that's what I was kind of talking about when you were like, okay, people have like that, like the lifelessness in their eyes, like the no hope
yeah,
kind of thing. Um
yeah.
there
And
are
I
not.
was able to connect with some of those kids. I could see it. There was a time in my life where I was selling drugs, and I realized I really wasn't making that much money to be risking my life.
The whole
And
life.
the first time that God put me in a position where, like, because I was like 20, 21, I was like 20 when I got hired at the post office. And a
Okay.
lot of us as young kids or young adults working at the post office could easily be your first six-figure job because they shoved the overtime down your throat like it was nobody's business. But it was that time I realized, like, why am I risking my life for doing all this? And God just opened this door for me. So it's like that was around the phase when that stopped for me. But I understand it was like that feeling of like I gotta do what I gotta do. I'm gonna make it, and I really want to live these rap lyrics and all this stuff that I'm listening to. I want to live it out and be that person that's genuine of that's I'm standing on this type of business. So I understand how the culture can sway you,
Right.
but you can't fall for that trap.
Because it sounds so attractive, especially if that's all you're feeding your mindset every day. Like you won't even know that you're swaying yourself, like you're convincing yourself. And then all of a sudden, like, opportunity comes and you're like, why wouldn't I take this and stuff there?
Yeah,
You've already groomed yourself.
yeah,
To be now I'm not saying.
that lifestyle, that money comes fast, and a lot of times you have a lot of money in your pocket, but sometimes it doesn't be yours
Exactly.
because it's like
Literally.
it's money that has to re up. This is sometimes it's people's first introduction to entrepreneurship. Unfortunately,
Uh,
for young black males, is selling drugs.
I had
You
another person tell me that changed their life too. So
yeah. It's
wild.
unfortunate, but that's the reality. But
Mhm.
a lot of times, when you live in that lifestyle, you incur losses. People get caught with stuff that you may have fronted them, and then it's a wash. At least you appreciate them not telling on you, but you got to start back over. You got to begin to build all that back over.
From
You
scratch.
might get off from a charge, but you lost all the products, so now you're starting back over, and then now you go from buying up front to being fronted, and it's a never-ending cycle of trying to
Because
get back.
everybody's not the main person. A lot of people are just small servers, and a lot of
Even
people
when you have
expect
that
to be some sort of big niche. Like,
Yeah, even when you have that ambition, it's so much in that where it can just go left, and you don't. And you sometimes when you're young, you're so naive, you don't even realize that.
you don't even see, you can't foresee what's happening because you're only
Yeah,
looking at the immediate gratification
yeah,
and stuff
yeah,
there. But that's why I was like, okay, I tried to teach my niece early on foreshadowing.
yeah,
You got to be able to look ahead at least 10 steps because
yeah.
nobody else is going to do it for you, right?
Nobody.
And I'm not always, I knew that I wouldn't always be around or around her to be able to make those steps for her and see those moves on the chessboard, sort of say, kind of thing.
Yep.
But it's wild out here. So that's why you just want to make sure and stuff there that you just keep yourself covered. Now, I'm not saying I'm against rap music. Y'all don't even want to know my playlist.
Yeah, that's the thing about it. It's like it's weird. It's like almost sometimes being saved and being from the hood sometimes feel like it's like being Blade. It's like you're a day walker or something. Like you're in
conflicting.
this world, but you're not of this world. So it's like I can't help that for some reason, some of these drill music songs, some of these Little Dirk songs, King Von songs, and these Yo Gotti songs, or whoever may be, the popping on rap artists that they make good music. But you
Yeah,
also got to look and see the effects of that music, where they look at their own music like it's entertainment, like it's literally like I'm just acting. But
literally.
some of these kids can't tell the difference from reality in the acting, and they begin to trying to live out these lyrics, and they fall in the trap of
Right. Right.
the
I've known a few people that are actually like just a product of their environment that didn't
yeah,
even know what FAFSA was. And for those who don't know and stuff there, that's a program you can go ahead and sign up for it. It'll help you pay for school. Well, you have
yeah,
loans that are, yeah, but you also have an education to help provide for your family kind of thing.
yeah,
And like I know that FAFSA is not for everyone and stuff there. School isn't for everyone, right? Maybe you
yeah.
want to learn a trade, get your
Praise
barbershop
God.
skills, learn to do taxes, learn about real estate
Yeah,
investing.
them trades are so important. Like literally when we're renovating houses, you see people, you might see your electricians, you might see your drywall people, your framing people, and they're like, those trades are making money right now. So it's like those, you need to get some skills back into the hands of these kids, get some
Yes.
trades back in schools,
Fixing
teach
cars. That'll never go out of
entrepreneurship.
school.
Yeah, all these types of stuff, like these are not just side hustles. These are real legitimate businesses once you begin to take it serious. So it's just important to get those back in front of our kids.
Completely agree and stuff there. And for those that want to know more about you and stuff there, where can they find you? Could you repeat that for me? I know you said a few
So,
of them earlier.
hey, Cash.
I
So,
tried to mute it. I couldn't push them back. Say
nah, I
hi.
understand. I understand. If I had Solomon, he would be right in front of the camera as well. But you can find me. I'm on Facebook, Devon Cyrille. My last name is spelled Cyrille. I'm also on Instagram. My personal slash business IG is Cyrille Cyrille 6328. You can also find me on IG for my business page is Realtor Devon Cyrille. I also have a link tree. If you when it comes to real estate related stuff. So my link tree is linktree/Cyrille Estates. So I can be found on those platforms. Me and my wife are also on TikTok, Cyrille6328 on TikTok. On YouTube, the Cyrille Faith channel. I also have Cyrille Estates RVA. Also have a podcast with one of my brothers in Christ called What Is Truth.
Love the
Um,
podcast.
thank you. We got to get back to making some more episodes and get some more content out. So
Got you. And just so you know, so I learned and stuff there because I'm kind of learning as I go, kind of thing. This is my second podcast, as you know, and stuff. You can do, like, I know you guys do a lot of podcasts together and stuff there too, but you guys can also do individual episodes. That way now you'll have double them up too, and just have those as your filler sodes. So yeah, kind of thing. And then all episodes don't have to be like, an hour, 30 minutes, 20 minutes. You can also do it to where you guys have your singular episodes, a topic, and now you're just pushing them out. So if each one and your goal is 15 minutes per one, you can literally just set a little duck timer, your script, go on, go off. But I know that has helped me a lot in the past and stuff there. Especially with my son, as you can see, he's lit.
And I understand. Mapping out that content schedule. Like I said, there's so much more I want to do. That is one of the goals I want to get to is content creating, putting out information, putting out stuff on real estate, entrepreneurship, putting out stuff on faith, believing, and just keep motivating people, really.
Right. Because it comes back tenfold.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't understand the stuff there. When you give and stuff, I know a lot of people and stuff too, they would be messaging me, right? Like even last year, maybe like, why are you giving away so much for free? You should charge. I was like, well, one, I do charge. But I was like, well, here's the link. But I'm like, what a lot of people don't get is that I would let them know and stuff there. This is my fellowship. I'm not always in church every Sunday. This is how I give. I give by loving on people in real time every single day, as much as I can when I have the chance. So it doesn't matter if I'm doing individual workshops, if I'm doing a podcast, if I'm just going to help out my child's school for the day and stuff there. I also have learned that once you pay over 10, 20, 40, $50,000 for education and you've just been absorbing it for years, you can't help but to give it away.
That's the truth. It pours out of you.
Excited. There was one moment, you guys, where I was ignorant as hell. I didn't know.
No, that's the truth. And that's the thing about it. When you pour out, God pours more back into you. So it's like people look at it like a scarcity mindset. I don't want to give out because I'm gonna give out too much. But the reality is, the more you give, is the more you get. So
and then
everybody wants to hear about prosperity, but reciprocity is just as real and really probably more impactful in your life.
That's literally why one of my groups took off the way it did last year. It was literally the value of reciprocity. We talked about this before we started this episode and stuff there. I would always plan to, okay, cool, yes, I have a quota, I have goals in mind, but at the end of the day, I want to give out 10 times more value than I'm asking for. So I'm going to make sure a person has more than enough to know about me as an educated individual to decide whether or not they want to patronize with me, if they want to work with me, hire me, things like that. So and stuff. And the next thing you know, you're going to have people asking you, hey, how much is your one-on-one? Can I book a call with you? Can you help me? Literally and stuff there. Earlier this year, I built an online school for a church in Georgia. And it brought me to tears because I was just so grateful. I didn't even know they were watching me, but they found me on Facebook. They're like, who's this girl who keeps telling me I need courses?
I appreciate you. I appreciate your platform because that's one thing about teaching. Like when you're able to bring structure to stuff, because it's one thing to have all this knowledge, but to be able to structure it in a way that people can learn, that's such a great benefit.
Absolutely.
Because I love teaching. That's one of the reasons why I teach. That was the first thing I became ordained as, was a teacher. So like teaching, and it's a lot of stuff that goes beyond the scenes of that. It's like, let me structure this in a way that people can digest this information. Let me not use too big of a words. Let me simplify things. The best way to teach is when you can make complicated things simple.
That part. That part and stuff. So I mean, like, in the way that you break things down, you're not so far to the top where you can't relate to someone who feels like they're at the bottom. And that's the part that I feel like a lot of people will be able to get value from working with you one-on-one, from actually, like, following your platforms, from checking out your school. I think that that's like the biggest thing, because that is a skill that a lot of people end up losing along the way, right? Once you go far up and stuff there, it's not always like that.
Yeah.
But I've noticed that it's like that for a lot of people, where sometimes it's hard for them to relate and stuff there for people that are just getting started and stuff. And I feel like you're one of those rare few. So I really appreciate what you do.
Yeah.
For sure. And Cash is 4 years old, but when you start your young boys youth entrepreneurship program, just come grab him. He's available.
I got you.
But do you have
We're gonna
any
figure
closing
out how to bottle that energy up that these kids have, these 2-3-year-olds, these 4-year-olds. We're gonna bottle that energy up. We're gonna sell it. That's
so
gonna
much
be
energy.
the thing.
He wakes up lit, like it's not even a slow wake up process. He just pops up and just puts on Disney music and starts dancing. And I'm like, sir, how? I need like WD-40 or whatever it's called and stuff there for my knees now in the morning. I'm trying to get back to the gym.
Hey, I feel that.
I'm trying really hard. Like last week I took my baby in the car. We were supposed to drive to Planet Fitness and then I saw Popeyes. So we went to Popeyes. So this is the week. This is the time. I haven't had Popeyes all year. If you would have seen the turn that I did, whoa. And they had the strawberry soda.
Oh man.
I was like, you know what? Give me the 8, no, the 12 piece. The next day. And I was like, this is investment shopping. I'm making multiple meals right now. And because you're always going to be your best salesperson to yourself. Right. I just be selling the heck out of everything. I told you for my 31st birthday, I just got myself a power scrubber off Amazon.
Gotcha. Yeah.
TikTok.
Yeah.
I was like, I got to do better. So this is the week. Planet Fitness is going to get my money. I promise. And stuff there. The goal isn't even a 6-pack anymore and stuff there like it was in high school. Honestly, the goal is, I've always noticed that the healthier my body is, the easier it is for my mind to think fast.
Yeah, that's true. If you can get that workout in first thing in the morning, it really sets the tempo for the day. So
literally. But now it's summertime. Kids are out of school. So now I have to figure out and stuff there.
Well, you go to a gym that got a kids daycare, like Gold Gym tends to.
My son is lit. I'm not afraid for him. It's the other kids. He's really passionate. He doesn't understand how strong he is though. And when he goes to play and stuff there, sometimes he's just like, oh, he can be a little rough and stuff, but he's not trying to hurt anyone. And and stuff there. I'm a huge autism advocate. My son has autism, but he's high spectrum. So when people look at him and stuff there, and they're like, he's so social, he's nice, he's really cute and stuff there. And then all of a sudden he turns into that, what is it, that Sour Patch Kids candy? It's like, sometimes they're sour, sometimes they're sweet. And it's like, they're not sponsoring this episode, by the way. It's just like
I know that feeling because my youngest one is maybe like, I don't know, Lord. I think he's it for stuff. He's enough for he's enough for enough.
And I had the nerve to pray for 8 kids. Now look at me.
Yeah.
I got 1 and I'm man down.
Yeah. I understand that.
Yeah, but when I prayed for 8 kids, I also prayed for the butler, the maid, the gardener, the driver. I was very specific.
Lord.
So, because it takes a village.
It does.
We weren't meant to do things alone. It takes a whole village. And if anybody listening, watching and stuff there right now, one of the things that I definitely did this year, and I definitely implore others to check out too, is just, if you do not already have the village that you want or that you need, don't be afraid to to create it.
Yeah.
You don't have to be by yourself, right? And stuff there. You can connect with a lot of amazing people who want for you to thrive. And I'm not just talking about in a business sense. You need to socialize with people outside of your business and stuff there. And it's okay if they are related to you in a business aspect, right? Where you guys have similar interests and different things. But you just end up enhancing the quality of your life. And if you focus on being that multifaceted person that each of us are and stuff, then, and giving, like we were talking about earlier, the value of reciprocity.
Yeah.
The sales come in afterwards and stuff there. Just focus on having a wholesome life. because I used to be knee deep in my business every day, all day. I'm not saying don't do that. I'm just saying, like, make sure you have a life outside of bills.
Yeah. No, that's so true. Yeah. We're
Because
not
if
just
not,
here
it'll
to
eat
work
you alive. Now
down.
you broke and sad and lonely.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's real.
So yeah, meet up with a mentor. You don't have to keep hitting the same brick wall over and over again.
That's
Somebody's
very
already
true.
been there and knows how to get over it,
Somebody
under
there
it, and
to
around
help
it.
you. Yep.
I've like literally lost money. I've maxed out cards and stuff there, trying to do things on my own before, when all I had to do was ask for help.
That's true.
Put your
Yeah.
pride aside. It's okay. It's a safe place, and just ask for help when you need it, right? And stuff there. So that I really appreciate you being here today. Do you have any closing words for the people listening and watching that you want to leave on us?
I would say just in closing remarks, I would say um just build your relationship with God, because you're gonna hear God through other people. So that mentor that you're desiring to have and that God has for you, you're gonna be able to hear what God is probably telling you to do and you should do through that other person, because God uses other people. So that'll be the way that you can probably connect with the person that's probably best suited for you. But you gotta have your ears open. You gotta take the earwax out. You gotta have your eyes open. You can't have the blinders on. This gotta be the person, and you'll know it because they'll agree in your spirit that this is the person you should be working with, that can get you to the next level.
I love that. Thank you guys so much for joining us today on this episode of the Holiday Impact. And I hope you guys have an amazing day. See you next time.